Ultra-realistic games are pushing visuals closer to real life than ever before. Advanced lighting, detailed environments, and lifelike animations are transforming the on-screen experience of these worlds. Here are the upcoming ultra-realistic games that aim to blur the line between games and reality. Dragontwin is an indie open-world action RPG with strategy elements developed by Draconic Interactive using Unreal Engine 5. The player acts as a Dragontwin, a mortal soul bound to a dragon, with control over both aerial and ground combat in large-scale encounters. Both the warrior and the dragon can be customized, shaping combat roles and tactical options. Gameplay also includes building a dragon lair and taking control of territory. Kingmakers is an action, simulation, and strategy game by Redemption Road, published by TinyBuild, built around large-scale medieval battles altered by modern weapons. The player fights directly in third person, while also giving real-time orders to armies made up of thousands of AI-controlled soldiers. Combat includes firearms, vehicles, and air support used against traditional medieval forces. Players can build fortifications, manage units, and switch freely between commanding troops and fighting on the battlefield, with online co-op supporting up to 4 players.
Seen you around since the demo. We have lots of new bells and whistles for survivor inspection, base building, and, well, keeping people like me alive.
Quarantine Zone: The Last Check is a simulation and strategy game by Brigada Games, where the player runs a security checkpoint during a zombie outbreak in a collapsing city. Gameplay revolves around screening survivors, using tools to detect infection, managing food, power, and medicine, and deciding who is allowed inside the safe zone. As pressure grows, players expand defenses, control drones during breaches, and manage quarantined survivors for research and upgrades, balancing population safety against long-term survival.
So keep them on the cutting edge to stay ahead of the curve. This here is the Madioscope to check for viral infection in the eyes. The portable X-ray is a new one too, and it's great for checking these flesh bags for signs of zombie stuff, and a deeper look to root out any contraband. Yeah, we'll talk more on that later. I also found this hammer for checking reflexes, but please be careful. It's a bit more nuanced than the other devices, and you can end up doing more harm than good if you're not careful. So, every survivor we save and every potential zombie you terminate gets us a little cash money from the bosses back at HQ. Each survivor we get on a convoy to safety means more funds for supplies, upgrades, and a pizza party on Fridays. Use that cash to expand the base, keep resources full, and make some upgrades to security, living quarters, power grids, and more. Speaking of upgrades, HQ really wants us to do some research on the front lines to see if they can find a cure. But I can't say I'm holding out much hope for a scientific breakthrough. You'll eventually have access to some upgrades like this fancy sterile lab to gather data on infection symptoms and mutations. Assign symptomatic survivors to the lab and do some science. And by do some science, I mean remove their organs against their will, run some tests, and make the lab equipment go brrr. Sheesh, he's not getting up, is he? Believe it or not, the new zombie cage is even less pleasant. We can lock down these creepers inside the research center and snag some undead flesh samples. Great for scientific progress, but not so great for you because you're gonna need to feed them dead bodies from the old dead body pile. Ah, nuts. Looks like we got a zombie breach. Time to spin up the defense drones and let the ammunition fly. The base has some pretty solid defense systems, including upgradable drones armed to the teeth for defending the perimeter. But we still do get a stray infected that makes it through or drops in from the buildings above. In that case, we go with the old-fashioned way and hunt them down on foot. Okay, so that's some of the new stuff, but there's a lot more to discover. Oh, and before I forget, these survivors sometimes try to sneak in contraband, so have a look through their bags and backpacks too. Grab weapons, infected items, and anything that looks suspicious. I can't believe I have to say this, but some of these clowns try to hide stuff up their ass. That's why I ordered the portable X-ray after we found some questionable stuff in even more questionable places. Boy, I hope I get reassigned soon. So yeah, lots of new stuff in the old quarantine zone. This line ain't getting any shorter, so let's keep this corpse conga line going, because the mess hall is serving chicken nuggets and I skipped lunch.
Rules of engagement. The Gray State is a tactical RPG shooter where the player takes the role of a Strider, an elite operative deployed into a hostile region known as the Gray State. Gameplay revolves around squad-based combat, firearm-focused encounters, and build customization that affects survivability and combat roles. Players enter dangerous zones to retrieve valuable artifacts while dealing with hostile creatures and competing human teams. Progression is tied to successful extractions, equipment upgrades, and completing contracts rather than narrative-driven objectives. Shark Dentist is a horror roguelike simulation where the player performs dental treatment on giant sharks inside a dark clinic. Gameplay involves selecting tools, managing anesthesia, oxygen, and the shark's stress level while completing risky procedures. Each run uses random dental problems, tools, and negative effects, forcing careful resource management. Mistakes increase danger and can trigger violent reactions. Progress depends on surviving sessions rather than permanent safety, with tension driven by limited supplies, random events, and constant monitoring of the patient. Soul Shogunate is an action RPG where the player controls Yuzuki, an outlaw samurai fighting across a futuristic solar system ruled by sword-based clans. Combat relies on fast melee attacks, ranged abilities, and movement that changes with gravity. Players select different weapon types, apply elemental effects, and unlock skills through gene splices that modify combat behavior. Traversal uses jetpacks and grappling tools to fight in varied environments, while large boss fights introduce multi-phase mechanics that test timing, positioning, and build choices.
決意の刃を研ぎ澄ませたに過ぎない因縁の大事が叶う時この空赤く染まろう無残に叫んで汚れた膝を抱えてるそれでもそんな今日は手にしたくないから生かなきゃやらなきゃしわくちゃの顔のままで生きるよあなたがいないこんな世界も愛せるようにくだらない
Supreme Experiment is a first-person action adventure where the player descends from sealed tower cities into a machine-controlled surface after global systems stop functioning. Gameplay combines firearm combat, environmental interaction, and immersive simulation systems that reward multiple approaches to encounters. Players investigate abandoned facilities, hack terminals, and gather information to understand machine behavior and hidden systems. A neural implant mechanic introduces an alternate layer of reality that alters navigation and combat rules, creating shifting threats and puzzle-driven progression tied to player discovery.
Species trying to survive, fighting for scraps, searching for truth. An abandoned, poisoned wasteland, crawling with creatures beyond imagination. Down here, humans don't belong. For those who left the city, it's a one-way ticket. But they go for a reason. This evolution of the machines was not random. There's something vast behind it. And it's coming for everyone, not just the machines. The people in the cities don't know it yet, but soon they will.
The War of the Worlds Siberia is an action-adventure game where the player controls a young student escaping both human forces and Martian invaders. During an alternate 1896, gameplay involves survival-focused movement, stealth to avoid towering alien machines, and close-range combat using period weapons like rifles, revolvers, and explosives. Players solve environmental puzzles, scavenge supplies, and react to chases and hostile encounters while moving through collapsing cities and remote regions, balancing evasion, limited combat, and resource management to stay alive.
Я убил его.
Вниз! Стой, тварь! Это же предательство!
Оно самое, юноша. Оно самое.
Zoopunk is a 3D third-person action RPG from Tai Games and a prequel to Forged in Shadow Torch. Gameplay uses fast melee combat with combo chains, character switching, and team-based co-op for 2 to 4 players. Players control animal fighters such as Raiden, Bratton, and Trixie, each with distinct weapons and roles. Battles take place against self-aware machines during the first Torch War, supported by Unreal Engine 5 visuals and systems and a dieselpunk art style.
You really fixing to gamble with it?
1 for 5, it's worth a shot.
Ain't you worried something might go wrong?
Wrong? I'm counting on it. It's mine now. Finish him. Give it back!
Walked right in himself, huh?
It's all yours now, boss.
Good work. Now with this, even the Machine Legion doesn't stand a chance against me.
What?
Huh?
On the papa!
Right on time! Miss me?
Gotta hand it to you this time, Ray.
If Tron hadn't planned ahead and sent us as backup, you'd be done for.
Mission done? Let me take a look.
All accounted for. What's next?
It's time to save Torch City.
Wrong. This place not right.
You say that about every place.
With insistence. Wrong.
Animal Use Protocol is a first-person survival horror game where the player controls Pen, a highly intelligent chimpanzee trapped inside Anchorage Station. Gameplay relies on stealth, scavenging, crafting, and careful movement to avoid hostile threats. Players navigate enclosed areas while being hunted, using a gravity-based tool to solve obstacles and escape danger. Progress depends on managing limited resources, staying quiet, and reading environmental cues. The structure supports narrative-driven play, with constant pressure created by pursuit mechanics and time-sensitive decisions.
You're sure this is the right way?
With indignation, pathfinding, very good. Better than smelly hate. Better than run! Paralyzed in terror. Smelly hate, run! Run!
Crathos Deep is a narrative adventure focused on submarine-based investigation in the frozen depths of the Arctic Ocean. The player pilots a submarine to travel between underwater locations and deploys an expeditionary drone to access narrow spaces inside damaged research facilities. Gameplay centers on piloting controls, drone physics, and environmental problem-solving rather than direct combat. Progress comes from locating clues, navigating hazardous terrain, and piecing together events surrounding a failed scientific operation hidden beneath the ice.
Things you'd like to dismiss or distance yourself from. If, or rather, when that happens, I must simply urge you to keep
Creative Director at Variable State. Right now, our team is working on Deepest Fear, a claustrophobic horror shooter in a retro-futuristic setting.
Deepest Fear is a sci-fi horror first-person shooter built around combat, environmental interaction, and systemic level design deep under the ocean. The player controls Dr. Donnie Carroll while navigating interconnected facilities where flooding, water pressure, and fluid simulation directly affect movement and combat. Enemies can emerge from any water source, forcing constant adaptation. Progression relies on unlocking paths, tools, and abilities across a Metroidvania-style layout, with problem-solving driven by physics systems, resource use, and flexible combat approaches rather than linear progression.
Environments. It conducts electricity, it transfers heat, it knocks you off your feet with surging currents and deadly vortexes. And it can be manipulated by creating dams, locking down compartments, and using tools and equipment unique to our sci-fi setting. And more than that, a deadly pathogen has infected the ocean itself, creating a primordial soup for violent entities to spontaneously manifest from. Every puddle, leak, or water source is a potential spawn point for an entity to strike. Some of the greatest stories ever told in games have come from the horror genre. Our ambition is for Deepest Fear to sit alongside these great works. Success is not guaranteed, but we know our commitment to quality and creativity are second to none. We will accept nothing less than to make the best game possible with the resources we have available. So expect AAA quality weapon feel, expect creative, strategic enemy AI behaviors, expect intuitive customizable controls, and expect high, stable frame rates across a range of hardware specs. For now, Deepest Fear is coming exclusively to Steam. If you'd like to see the game on other platforms, please let those platform holders know. We want it too. As for Deepest Fear's development, we'll have more to share about the game in the coming months. Please wishlist the game on Steam if you like what you see. We want Deepest Fear to be the next great immersive sim, and your enthusiasm energizes our creativity. So please spread the word, tell your friends, talk about the game on social media,